Hello, I'm Balint. I hope I pronounced that right or didn't mispronounce too badly. Could you give an introduction about yourself?
So I'm Balint. I'm a 19-year-old student from Hungary, and I've been a member of the real world for close to 9 months now, and I've
Hmm.
made $3,000 from
Okay,
the
nice.
skills that I've picked up from the real world.
Cool. Are you studying in university or what are you doing outside of the real world?
I'm still in high school. I'm studying computer science, and
Mhm.
I I practice video editing and content creation in my free time.
Mhm. Okay, so what made you get into the real world considering you study computer science?
Well, after 2020, there were quite difficult times in Hungary here, and I realized that learning for the next 5 or so years won't get me results quick enough, and I was looking for a way to build a reliable, stable, and long-lasting income. And
Mhm.
in early 2022, Tate really blew up on social media, and that's when I learned about him and the real world back when it was called Hustlers University. And I joined when Hustlers University got rebranded to the real world in November.
Mhm. Okay. So you said you got into content creation and video editing. Did you have prior experience with video editing before you joined?
I had a really basic understanding of video editing. I have did a
Mhm.
couple of edits, but only free ones, so really basic.
Okay. And how has your editing evolved then since joining the content creation campus?
Well, it improved considerably, mainly because my editing is not only focused around creating something that's only visually appealing, but something that can actually have an impact on the viewer,
Hmm.
which is discussed in detail on how to do that. And that's one thing that I haven't seen in free content like on YouTube
Hmm.
or in free courses. So that's
Okay.
what really elevated my video editing from free jobs or favors to monetizable services.
And speak about a bit more about the monetizable part of it. How did you acquire clients? And did you get on a sales call with them to pitch your idea? And how
Yes.
did that evolve?
So back when I first started in the real world, I joined the copywriting campus with the intention to learn more about client acquisition and psychology. And the professor inside the copywriting campus had really great materials on how to acquire clients, how to outreach to them. And I combined the copywriting campus's outreaching method with the business mastery campus's sales call psychology lessons. And that's how I landed my first client, which is
Mhm.
ironically the biggest Hungarian podcasting agency.
Interesting. As your first client. So
Yes.
what did you just outreach to them on Instagram or somewhere else? What did you propose to them?
So basically, they have their own podcast as kind of
Hmm.
a self promoting thing. And first I found that podcast and reached out to them that I can make them short form videos at a high level.
Hmm.
I made them some videos, and when I got on a sales call, I got to learn that the owner who I was talking to is actually running a huge podcasting agency here in Hungary. And
Interesting. And yeah, what did you pitch him then in terms of your services?
so I pitched him on a short form video editing for his podcasts every day, one video a day. And that was my first job for them. We did that for up until May, so the first 2 months. It was like a trial period. And then he introduced me to his other clients, which are one of the biggest names in Hungary. So, recruitment agencies, e commerce analytics stores, and just podcasts in general sponsored by huge names.
And have you just recently started working with those new clients, or is that for future?
No, I've been working with the first client that I got from them in May, so that's close to 4 months ago. And since then, I've worked with three other clients from them.
Okay, because since considering the scale of it, weren't you able to charge more? Like, what was the full process there?
I can get into that later, but basically, why I haven't charged more is because we were doing small scale discovery projects for them and realized that they wouldn't be the main target for my service, and that would be my service would more ideal for content creators, influencers, and storytellers, which we are working on currently to create a personal branding service together for their clients. And I reckon that that will be the big moneymaker for me.
Okay, interesting. When do you project that coming to fruition? I don't know how else to phrase it.
Within 1.5 months, aboutly.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, when we do follow-up interview, will be interesting to hear how that develops. Now, you've gone through quite a few of the courses then. You said copywriting, business mastery, content creation, the freelancing as well?
I've touched on it, yes.
Okay. So how have you seen the campuses, do they link together in a way? Let's
Yes.
say, okay, what's your perspective on that? How they
So
link together?
what I would categorize the campuses in two sections. So there are the not general, but campuses that are useful to everyone. So content creation and business mastery would fit into the category. And there are skill-based campuses like copywriting, freelancing, that can, or e-commerce, that are specific skills that you can make money with, and you can amplify or help the money making with the content creation and business mastery campuses.
Okay. And what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when trying to implement lessons from all the campuses?
Well, a challenge could be that in principle the lessons are simple to follow, but for I believe many others like me, making money in general is boring. But so it's a lot of repetitive tasks like outreaching, writing emails, and it for most people, I believe, that can be what stops them from making money, and in turn negatively affect their learning. That they just have to put in the reps and not give up without seeing results.
Hmm. Okay. I could relate to that as well because when I was doing copywriting, yeah, and I've done video editing before as well. So I guess it does get repetitive after a while, but that's as long as you're not learning something new. Would you say you're at a stage where you've learned most of the lessons that need to be learned, or are you still learning?
I believe I'm still learning. And
Hmm.
just from the scale of the service, like there are tens of videos coming out every single week about different topics that I need to learn, and it's just difficult to keep up with the lessons, school, work, family, being fit, friends.
Hmm.
So there's
Right.
still a lot to learn.
Okay, fair. How different is your average day now compared to before you joined the real world?
Well, before I joined, most of my day would consist of waking up, going to school, coming home from school, and then playing video games or watching videos. Now I've invested in myself that I was able to purchase a really good laptop that I can edit videos on in school or do basic administrative work. And after I come home, I study the lessons, I study new trends, make the videos for clients, and just I'm just more productive in general. And
Hmm.
also I started taking care of my health after I joined.
Good, good, good. Taking care of your health just in terms of working out or in more sense, in more of a
Working
sense.
out and also cutting out most of junk food, soda, and unhealthy products.
And how different do you feel now then?
It's much better. Before the fitness professor's instructions, I had a real bad problem with drinking Coca-Cola almost exclusively,
Mhm.
and I learned that I had to change that. And since I've been drinking either water or milk 99% of the time, so that
Okay.
really had an impact on my mood and my health.
Good, good, good. All right, that's good to hear. And since you're on this trajectory now, you're still young, 19 years old. What, where do you see your life heading in the short term, medium term, and long term?
Um, so short term, I definitely see myself working with my partner, if I can call them that, the podcasting agency, on the personal branding module for the next 1.5 months. By the end of the year, I want to make at least 1.5 thousand dollars a month, which I believe I'm on a good trajectory on
Yeah, yeah,
based on
yeah.
my
Easy.
previous 2 months' winnings. And long term, I'm not so sure. I'm My academic scores would indicate that I'm heading to university, but I still got 2 years until university, so it's I'm not so sure. If my business takes off really well, I'll continue to run my business, and if if not so well, then I'll consider university.
Right. Completely fair. And yeah, that's a considerable amount of time to figure out which direction you will go. So completely fair. Okay. That's most of my questions then. So to wrap up, for people who are unsure about joining the real world because maybe they think it could be a scam, what advice would you have to them?
Well, there are like, I don't know, 250 interviews now like this
Yep.
where people talk about their experience inside of the real world. There are countless wins that are being posted online from the real world. So after all that social proof, if you really think it's a scam and won't risk $50 to find it out yourself, then you wouldn't have made it anyways.
Very, very true. It might sound harsh, but yeah, very true. Okay, so if people want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Well, they can find me on Twitter or X at LUCZIBALINT or at the same alias on Instagram.
Okay, we'll add those to the description of the video. And yeah, Balint,
Balint, yes.
again, hope that wasn't too badly pronounced. I look forward to that follow-up interview. You're saying you'll have some things potentially happen in a month and a half. So yeah, in about 3 or 4 months, you can do a follow-up and see how those developed and how you're progressing. Hold you accountable to what you said as well. And yeah, should be good. So
Great.
until then, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.